So I've touched on this in the channel before, and it's my first job in Canada. Actually, it was a bit of a rant about what my first job was, because I didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't a job I liked, it wasn't a job I was proud of, but it was my first job. And let me clear up the confusion now. A lot of people on this channel think that I'm making videos for international students because I'm an immigrant, or I am an international student. That's not true. It's because I knew that immigrants, minorities weren't respected as much as, you know, white people, Caucasian people in business, and that didn't make me happy. When I wanted to do acting when I was younger, I saw that you were typecasted, so you wouldn't get many roles if you were a minority. I didn't like that. And I'm seeing that there's a big market for influx in immigrants. Like, a lot of people want to immigrate to North America, whether that's Canada or the US. And at the same time, there's this whole notion that immigrants are bad. It's false. A lot of people don't believe that, but some people do. And with a lot of the politics that are going on right now, I just think that there's a hole that needs to be plugged, and there's people who need to be heard. So that's why I make these videos. So if you are one of those people, or you believe in that as well, please hit that subscribe button. It helps to move this forward. It helps us, you know, just hitting that like button by subscribing helps me make more videos, and helps people like that. Helps people, you know, who need to be heard more. People with real skill and raw talent that are not being listened to for silly reasons and stereotypes. So anyway, my first job in Canada, I worked at McDonald's before I did marketing. I'm very privileged. I'm very lucky. I'm very privileged and very lucky to be able to, you know, right when I started doing marketing, and when I started making videos 6-7 years ago, I was doing it with my parents' stuff. My parents were helping me do that. So I was able to gain some momentum. I never had to worry about, like, when's my next meal gonna come from. As I was a kid, I was able to build that. So now that when I'm older, I can sustain myself on it, right? So I can actually work. But at the time when I was trying to get working experience as a kid, before I had someone walk up to me and say, "Hey, I want to make my book trailers. Well, I see you have talent. Come help me out. I'll teach you how to, you know, score clients." Before that happened, I was working at McDonald's and I absolutely hated it. So if you're an immigrant, you're coming to Canada, you're gonna work a job and you're afraid of it, like, oh no, I'm getting the butt end of the stick. Any job that you get, as long as it is, I'm guessing, a legal job, it's going to be what somebody here has probably worked, as in a citizen has probably worked that job too. Just be happy that you've come to a new country, you have new opportunities and new things to experience. But I worked at McDonald's. And it was probably the worst summer of my life. And the reason for that was just by surely how people treat you when you work in fast food. It has nothing to do with doing the fast food. It has nothing to do with not being humbled. I was fine. I wasn't upset doing that. But what I was upset about was that people treated you like utter trash. They treated you really badly. And I'm imagining, coming to Canada, if you're gonna work in a job, one of those survival jobs, like a fast food job, or, you know, something to do with customer service, people may treat you badly because maybe you're English, you may not speak English as well, and because you're just working in that job. You need to not let it get to you. You need to kind of put on just like if you work a job like that, understand that people from Canada work those jobs too, so you're not the only one, and you need to just filter out all the garbage, and you need to just move ahead, get out of that job as quickly as possible. Screw security, okay? You didn't move to Canada to be secure and work in a minimum wage job for the rest of your life because it's just a better life than back home. Your job is to keep climbing and to show people that you are great and that you can do amazing things. And I'm not even being sappy about it. I'm serious. Don't stay in the job as long as you need to, and do your best to ladder climb. I made a video about building a resume, and I talked about how to add special skills and achievements and how to inflate them to get higher paying jobs. I also talked about building your own businesses. Some of you out there probably have more drive than me, and if you do, put it to the test. Build your own businesses and go out there and get better jobs. But that was my first job. I worked at McDonald's. There was once this lady, she would touch everything in the garbage, and then she would come and touch the counters and touch all the food, and we had to deal with her. There was one guy who he wanted his muffin heated up exactly to a certain temperature, and whenever the kitchen wouldn't do it, I was on cash. When the kitchen wouldn't do it, he would just go, he would go nuts. Like, he would freak out. So just silly stuff like that is probably going to happen to you. But if you come here and get a good job, I'm sure many of you will. If you do, congratulations. Just, you know, if you do end up experiencing some of those things, know that I've experienced it too, living here, being a citizen. And if you experience it, my best advice to you is to get out of there. You're going to prove it to people. It's only temporary. Remind yourself that and you'll get through it. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure.